All right, Ms. Dean?
Hi, my name is Asha Dean, and I'm here with Newsmakers Live. Oh, sure. Sure thing, I got you. You can hear me now?
This camera first.
Awesome. Well, today, my name is Asha Dean, and I'm here with Newsmakers Live. And in the studio today, I'm here with my co-host, Aniyam Ben-Kazriel, and the lovely Miss Maloes Magodi. So how are you two doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm very excited about the opportunity to interview Ms. Magodi with all of her amazing news from South Africa.
Well, I'm doing great, and thank you for having me.
Oh,
Awesome.
thank you for coming.
Awesome. So maybe we can start this off with an easy question. Could you tell us a little bit more about yourself?
Well, my name is Maloes Magodi, and I'm born and raised in South Africa, and I've been living here for the past 22 years.
Mm-hmm. And it has listed on your bio that you're actually the president of the South African Women's Alliance. Could you tell us more about that organization and why it started?
Well,
Sure,
we
keep your
decided.
mouth.
We started the organization about 6 years ago, and really the reason was because we wanted to promote South Africa, and we wanted to showcase the South African strength of a woman, an African woman. And I always say that, all the time when you meet people on the street and you say you're from South Africa, the first person they will think about is Nelson Mandela.
Right.
Yeah.
They will think about Archbishop Desmond Tutu. They will think about Huma Sikela. Those are the music. However, they hardly or seldom say a woman's name. So I thought that it was very appropriate for me as a woman to use this platform to promote an African woman.
That's very amazing. I wonder what's your biggest challenge, or what was your biggest challenge to actually creating that platform for women?
Well, fortunately, there are those women that we stand on their shoulders. There are those who came before us.
Yeah.
However, as an African woman, we have to fight the establishment in whatever you do. We always looked upon and then, we actually probably be at the bottom of the barrel. So you have to fight the establishment, and you have to work hard to change the narrative. So it's always a challenge, especially if you have not seen anybody do exactly what you do.
Yeah.
But fortunately, there are a lot of leaders out there to look up to. So I knew that it was going to be a challenge, but I had a role model around me who were able to, support me.
I'm curious, what has been the response from your community after creating this platform and this group? Do you feel like you've had a lot of support from the different local women? Was it easy to get people to join this platform?
The community in terms of the community back home,
Yes.
or the local community?
The local, yeah.
Well, I think, it's one of those things that most likely you think that people have been waiting for, because we had none like that, especially in South Africa. A lot of South Africans, went back home post-apartheid.
Yeah.
So there were few of us here, so it was very eminent for those of us who are left to do something about promoting, the country, or even our African women. So I think it was well received from different communities.
Yeah.
So they were very much willing to support us, and I think a lot of people were also looking at the ways in which they can connect to Africa, or even South Africa, because they always say, okay, we want to be able to help out, we want to reach out, but how do we do it? So it was upon few of us who are left here to do something so that there is that connection.
Yeah.
So I've had the blessing of visiting South Africa several times. And every time I go, I'm always amazed by the creativity and the spirit and the determination of the people there. They're so inventive. The sides of the roads having the various products and services and inventions and artwork. My question for you is, in what ways do you feel the South African Women's Alliance is able to support women-led businesses in South Africa?
Okay, you were so fortunate because you went there several times and all that. What we did this year, which is why you see a lot of women that I invited today so that they can be with us, is the fact that we now brought South Africa to Atlanta.
Yeah.
So yes, to give taste to those who have never been there, so that they could also come and see what we have to offer. So,
Absolutely. And could you talk about some of those upcoming projects that you all have in mind?
We have, we have a couple of them. Of course, we have the exhibitors here. You will see a lot of the product that they have that you have seen back home. So you can invite some of your friends to come and see what you have seen over there.
Absolutely.
And so we have the business forum, which is really was created as a platform also for all of these women, especially the women owned businesses, right? So it was for them to be able to come here and connect with the investors and making sure that we invest in an African woman, because I think most of the time what I mean from my perspective, this is a personal opinion, is that we not all of us can actually walk into the banks and get access to capital to start your own business. Not all of us can apply and get the government grants to get help or to be able to establish your own business. So we need to find the alternatives on how we're going to do that and still make sure that we invest in women, because we know, I come from, Africa, and we always say that if you economically invest in an African woman, you invest in a nation. So we need to make sure that we continue that. And really, it doesn't even matter. And I always say that it doesn't even matter, because you don't have to be a woman to invest in woman or to see or support another woman. It could come from everywhere, but as long as it's focused towards empowering an African woman, then that's what we're here for. So that's what the Friday is all about.
What Friday?
This coming Friday, Friday, August 23rd at Atlanta Marriott Perimeter Center, 9 o'clock in the morning. So we have a business breakfast there, or business forum. Yeah.
And it's my understanding that you've flown people in from overseas for this conference?
Absolutely. I'm sure some of them are here. That's what, the group we invited today.
Yeah.
Yes, they came from, South Africa. We have people who came from Cape Town, Durban, Johannesburg, and then we have people domestically who are coming also to support the women and to see how they can also support each other. Those who are in the diaspora, they still also need the connection to those who are back home. So we have people coming from New York, from Chicago, LA, as in Los Angeles, and Miami. So yeah, I'm looking forward.
I want to go back a minute, and I remember you talking about coming over here and wanting to kind of bring and bridge the gap between South African women and then moving over here, especially in the local Atlanta communities, because that's where we are right now. I wanted to know, what exactly do you want people to know about the South African woman? Like, in terms of what would you describe, how would you describe the South African woman in like 3 great words, if you could?
Strong, brilliant, very determined.
Yeah.
I think.
I can add to that. Because remember, during apartheid, we were raised by women who had to deal with all the struggles, all the challenges of apartheid regime, right?
Yeah.
So one of the things is that, when we were raised during that era, it was more like women were actually the most people who were around. Some men were already in jail or out there working somewhere, right? So who took care of the children? Who raised the children were women. So I think it's very important for people to understand now. It's been 25 years, we're celebrating 25 years of democracy, but if you look at the accomplishment and the strength and what women have accomplished, despite the fact that they have to endure all the challenges of apartheid, I feel like it's amazing.
Yeah.
And I think it's something that the world has to know about it, that not even apartheid kept South African women down. So despite all of that, we're still where we are today, and that's why we went to invite these women so that Atlanta and US can know what we have to offer as South African women.
That strength is infectious. I can feel it right now. Like the passion. I got it all the way over here.
That'll be a good opportunity for us to talk now about South African Women's Day. Could you give any insight into what South African Women's Day is? Because I understand that it's in this month.
Wonderful, and yes. So South Africa actually celebrate August. August is a woman's month, right? So August 9, and this is really in commemoration of what happened in 1956 the march on the August 9th, 1956, where the women from different background and races, they got together and fought against the apartheid laws that really was enacted to discriminate against an African woman, right? So they were required to carry the identification, which was, that law already applied to men, so they wanted to extend it to apply to women. And women, just stood up and said, you know what? J.G. Stradom, who was the president at the time, like, now you struck a woman, you struck a rock.
And I understand there was like 50,000 plus women that all hit the streets. Was it in Pretoria?
Yeah, about I guess.
Before Facebook, before Instagram, before LinkedIn, before cell phones.
There was no social media, and I understand women came from all angles, all parts of South Africa to come and march in Pretoria, where our Union Building, which is our White House.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah. So there were a lot of women who came up, but I think, to me, the message from that march was that collectively, as women, if we really want to fight for something collectively, we can accomplish so much. Because again, I will repeat, it didn't matter who was going through that challenge, right? It was really an African woman who was being oppressed at the time.
Yeah.
But if you look at the march itself, it was not only organized by African women, but all other races also came in and say, you know what, we're going to stand with you and fight for what is not right. So I think it's a message we also want to continue to preach as a South African Women's Alliance, that every single time we have a challenge as women, of which our challenges today are different than what they faced 60 plus years ago. But we still have challenges as women. We're still fighting some of the battles as women. But what we're trying to do, which is why we are here, we're saying that your challenge, if I can step in together, we can manage, we can overcome.
Right.
So collectively, we are much stronger as women, I think.
That right there speaks to the power of sisterhood and creating that. There are so many divisions, I feel like, today that divide us as women, not even just across. We could just consider women living in the same household or in the same communities. But you're bridging the gap between like countries, continents right here, and that right there, that speaks to that message. And I want to be a part of it personally. This is my first time really meeting South African women and being a part of this movement, and I'm so honored right now to be a part of that mission for you.
That's powerful.
Well, thank you for your interest. I appreciate it. Yeah.
Absolutely. So from that time in 1956, a national holiday was created, South African Women's Day. And somehow, some way, it found its way all the way over here to the United States. Can you tell more about that story?
Well, the march happened in 1956, but it wasn't always celebrated. Only after 1994, after the democratic elected government, that they decided that it's going to be a holiday. We're going to remember what happened to women, and we're going to commemorate it. So
you mean the apartheid government wasn't trying to celebrate that?
Not at all. No, they were not trying that. So
okay. So how did the day find its way over here to the United States?
And like I said, we had to find a way to create a platform to connect these women. So that's why we use this month specifically. I know we have already International March International Women's Day in March. However, because we wanted to kind of focus it to South African women, and that's why we end up doing it in August and making sure that people understand what those women did, not now, but during apartheid. So yeah.
And for those that don't know, apartheid it's similar in many respects to like Jim Crow era South, or the deep pits of American racism and economic exploitation, has a parallel with the experience of people in South Africa at that time. So it's the equivalent of saying you had 50,000 different people get together and hit the streets, right? Prior to social media, prior to telecommunications, all working together in post-Emancipation Proclamation America, right? So the spirit of innovation and of hard work and determination is one that not only has an impact on the women of South Africa, but around the world because of the example that it has.
Correct.
And we've been commemorating that now in Atlanta for, I believe, was it 6 years?
Correct.
So there's an upcoming South African Women's Day Gala coming up.
That's right, yeah. So the gala is also about that. It's multifaceted. So we're trying to promote South Africa in general, which is why we have Brand South Africa. Brand South Africa is a government agency which was created to craft a positive image about South Africa. So which is why they stepped in and supported this, because they realized that we're actually all about promoting South Africa. And of course, that's why we honor women. We honor women who have been trailblazers. It's just it's part of the package of showcasing the talent of South African women. Of course, we want people to come to South Africa to learn more about the country. That's why we have tourism involved. We want people to think not only about learning about the country, but just to have an open mind about going further by even investing. And if somebody has to invest, I think an African woman is the way to go.
You talk about trailblazing and honoring trailblazers. I'm wondering, do you have a specific role model that you look up to, or that's inspired you to even go on this journey?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Of course, my grandma and my mom, those were the women around me that I always looked up to. And then I remember even in the 80s, which is, I don't know if I'm giving away my age, but that's
you ain't but 21. What you talking about, the 80s?
But that's when I actually grew up, and there were people like Winnie Mandela that I always, when I look at the strength and when I remember some of my thinking and what a woman should be, is what I saw on how she actually conducted herself during those difficult times.
Yeah.
And of course, I have my role model here, Felicia Mabuzisatl, who's been on my side from day one when we started this event. These are the people like I look up to, and they are there for me, guiding, providing a constant, continuously supporting and guiding me, and even not there, just stepping in and helping and making sure that they caught the vision, they believe in the vision, and they become part of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I do a lot of them, and I think we have been very also fortunate in the sense that even in Atlanta, honestly, when we reach out and people, some women were there for us, Ms. Zenana Clayton, and they've been other, I can go through the list, who have been there for us and supporting us, and then guiding us as to how we can overcome challenges, because those are the women who have gone through things. So we look up to those women to figure out how we can make it as well.
I definitely know what kind of role models have played in my life in making me the woman that I am today. So I'm curious, you're right now, you're building a whole generation, a whole network of role models for young women around the world, and I wonder, what's your vision for, 20 years from now, that next generation, especially in South Africa, and having this whole network of trailblazers, entrepreneurs to look up to, these women leading these businesses. What's your vision for that next generation of women that's coming up?
Yeah. Well, number one, I will say that, I want young girls to look up to us and say, you know what, I don't have to worry, which is why we're honoring the trailblazers, right? We want these girls to say, you know what, I don't have to fear anything. It's okay to be the first in whatever I do. It was okay for us to start this, being the first to celebrate this Women's Day in the whole U.S. as a private organization. So we want them to look up to that. And also, I want to, especially those who are in the country, those who are still challenged, because I grew up during apartheid, and you think things have changed, and you come Thursday, you'll see, I will share the story. Things haven't changed that much, especially on the grassroots level. Of course, on other people, they might, experience that, but where I come from, where I grew up, I still go there, and I still see things pretty much close to where they were when I grew up. So I want those kids also, especially girls, to have hope that, you know what, we don't have to despair. We have to know that, if we work hard enough and we continue to study, irrespective of whether we think we're going to have opportunities or not, but somebody somewhere, because hopefully they will see some of these women who are here today, and then they see them prosper, they see them expand their business and say, oh, by the way, she's doing it. And if she could do it, what can stop me from doing it? Exactly. So we want to continue that legacy. We want to continue opening the platform for others who come before us, so that it is easier for them.
Yeah, definitely. And I remember earlier we talked a little bit about sisterhood, and then I remember that you also talked about other people that aren't necessarily South African women, but are also investing in this vision and helping you guys grow.
Exactly.
So people who might not be able to invest like money or anything,
Yeah.
what other aspects or areas of support can they lend you and the South African Women's Alliance to help, make your vision come true, either back in South Africa or out here?
A lot of things, and I come across many other women every day here in Atlanta as they find out about what we do. It could be anything, leadership skills, it could be sharing the experiences, the challenges. It could be even money. And I will say this because I always say that when you start using the word invest, you start thinking big money, right?
Yeah.
And I always say to people, and which is why I went the route that I went, right? For example, and I'll make a simple example. If I had $10,000 and I looked in South Africa and said, okay, I can maybe help someone with this money, right? But it's going to be one person. But if I have $10,000, $20,000 and I invest in creating a platform, maybe many more will benefit from what I do, right? And the other thing was, okay, fine, I can get my 1,000 may not be nothing, but if we get 10, 15, 20, 100 people with 1,000, all of a sudden, it's a lot of money that can invest and change somebody else's life, and not only one life, but generation to come after. So that's the idea about the whole thing. I mean, this is the first day we actually we partnered. So I partnered with some organizations in South Africa, Ubambano, women. So these are the kind of organizations that I'm looking for, so that as we come together as partners, we can create those opportunities for people at home, but also here to give people who always say that I need an opportunity. Yeah. Everybody now will have a chance.
Yes.
No more excuses to say that, okay, I can invest in somebody else's life in South Africa. And not only that, there are also women, by the way, from home, right, who are in the diaspora. They're also looking or seeking those opportunities as well. Like, okay, I want to go back home, but where do I start? I've been gone for 40 years. Where do I start? Yeah. So this is the opportunity for everybody to make sure that we can all partner, and then they can network and be able to hopefully create something bigger than what we're starting today.
So you have an action-packed agenda. And she's so modest and humble. She's I don't know, and then when you get her going, she just keeps going. So in a few moments we want to get to any questions, comments from the audience, but before we do, I do want to get more clarity about what the South African Women's Alliance has in store. So you mentioned that there's an event going on Thursday, on Friday and Saturday.
Yes, so Friday is going to be the Women's Forum. Like I said, we're connecting the South African business women with the investors, and just like I said, it doesn't matter. You saw you've been to our events before. 40% of people who come are men. So it doesn't matter, and it doesn't have, because some people, they see South Africans, they're like, oh, only South Africans. No, that's why we left South Africa to come here. That's why they're here, to connect with the world outside of South Africa. So that's what we have on Friday. And then Saturday gala, I'll just say a little bit about it. But we're going to have 3 segments to the gala. We have a VIP section, the red carpet. We'll have the exhibitions. There will be, in fact, there will be exhibitions also on Friday. So you get all your goodies without flying to South Africa. And
absolutely.
So
absolutely.
How they like that. So we will have that, and then we'll have a formal program between 7 and 10, where it will be the awards show, honorees, and we'll give the information about South Africa. Remember, we're trying to get people to understand, to know more about South Africa. A little bit of more culture on Saturdays. We talk business on Friday. Saturday we're a little bit more relaxed, looking cute on the red carpet, and get just familiar with the Ubuntu, this culture, the South African culture, so that it's easier for you to trust and do business with us. And then we'll have a segment where we'll have a live concert. We never had this before. Okay, you don't get to a gala or you can have a after party, but we're talking about after gala concert, live concert.
The after party.
So yeah, there's so much in store. So you're gonna learn as much as you can about South Africa this coming weekend.
So we'll be sure to include links inside of the videos so that people can click for those who want any access to those galas and to those events. We'll make sure that everybody has access to it because tickets are going fast. So you got to hurry up and grab them.
Extremely fast, yeah.
Now, that's this Friday and this Saturday. But I hear
Friday
that just,
the 23rd, yeah, and Saturday the 24th.
and I hear that there's something big stewing up for next year. Can you give any details about that? Just a sneak preview. Just a sneak preview.
Yeah, so sometime next year, I guess it's March now. So as much as we have invited ladies from South Africa this year to come and see what we have here, so next year now we want women and the potential investors from the US to go to South Africa and tour the country, get to know people, see what business opportunities we have that they can invest. And it's gonna be everything. When we go there, you will know by Friday what the women are doing, different businesses that they're involved in. So we're gonna give that opportunity for everybody else who care to help in Africa.
Awesome. So you're talking about like an international tour of Americans into South Africa.
Exactly.
For the purpose of business development, investment, tourism, etc.
Everything.
I'm definitely going to be a part of that trip. I don't know about
Everything.
y'all.
I have a question. What's your favorite thing about South Africa? What's your favorite thing about South Africa?
I think I like to. I'm a woman, right? And I like. Hold on, let me think about how, because I don't want this to be misinterpreted when I say women look beautiful in South Africa. Look at them.
I see them.
I have never seen such good-looking women until I go out and I go back to South Africa and say, they're actually looking good. But the food, the music, it's just the culture. We have such a rich culture.
That's
I
awesome.
can imagine.
So are there any questions or comments that we could take from the audience?
Yeah, please, women, help me.
Sisterhood?
Sisterhood.
I do. Oh, go
Hey,
ahead.
who's the little one? Could you come up?
Come on up. Don't ask it. Don't give it to Zani, please. Don't give it to Zani. Don't give it to Zani.
She's already standing up.
Oh my gosh.
So what are you doing on Friday?
Say that again. I'm
What are you
sorry.
doing on Friday?
On Friday.
Can you give more details about the business conference?
I'm glad you talked about it. So Friday in the morning, 9 o'clock at the Hotel Atlanta Marriott, we're going to do business. However, I'm glad you asked that. So we're also having an exhibition and a concert in the evening.
Whoa.
Evening at the help me, what's the name? Yeah, what's the name of it? Oh my gosh. Let's give the address quickly of the church where we're going to be having a concert and exhibition, so we like everybody to come. Actually, it's a free concert now.
Okay.
And this is on Friday.
This is
correct?
on Friday, right here across the street, actually.
Okay, so it's here in downtown Atlanta.
It's here in downtown Atlanta, so we have a concert, and I know Saturday, and then Sunday again, we will have, what's the name? Yes, give her mic to say that. Give her the mic.
Well, we can include the information in the link.
Oh, we include the info, okay. Yeah, so that's what we have in Friday evening, and then of course, Saturday also we worshiping at the Big Bethel AME Church, again, down the street. So we have the very successful award-winning musicians who are here. I don't think any of them is here now, but they are already here in Atlanta. So they'll be performing in all our shows this weekend.
Awesome. Any other comments from the crowd? If anybody would like to speak about their experience so far in the States or what they have to offer. I hear we got some exhibitors in the audience. Anybody too shy to talk about their business?
Oh no, I know you guys are not.
Good evening, everyone.
Hi.
Good evening.
My name is Yolisa. My company is SNC Tax.
I'm a tax professional and an accountant. So my company provides investment client services to small businesses, and also we service government where they support small businesses. So part of the government support.
It's awesome.
Okay.
Thank you.
It's great.
Nice. Thank you for sharing.
Who's next?
Good evening, everyone. What an honor to be in the show. Thank you for the invite. It was very humbling. I'm the CEO and founder of Uba Manuina and SA Entrepreneur Forum, and I also run a business which is a guest house industry. I'm running on 19 rooms, and they are totally invested. But what I'm humbled to be here because what Manwasa is doing is really great for us. This is big exposure. We are really looking for uplifting our communities. We always say we start with our families, meaning we'll put the mask on our face first and run our own business as well with the US input, because our main thing that we want to achieve is to create global leaders.
Yes.
And if we want to do that, what a better way to expose them to the best. So that's why we are here, to expose them to the best so that we can grow even better. And then secondly, we then look at where are we lacking. We're looking for investors, obviously, to say how can you assist us. And I like Malwasa's point that she brought up, that a lot of the women that we assist are not looking for big monies to start with immediately. You'll find that they're looking for something like $10,000 to get their business to a better level. So what we're saying is, we are looking for you. Come on Friday, visitors, come and do those street mentoring to our people, just so that we could get to the next level.
Yeah.
It was 19 that we brought in, one gentleman and 20 ladies, because we are, and I'm glad that it's you, it's the gentleman that we brought. So we are about empowerment, and that's a bottom line. So we really are honored to be here.
Thank you.
Very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, can I add something?
Absolutely.
Oh, by the way, when we go to Cape Town next year on a tour, NC will be staying at her guest house so that people can have a feel of what South Africa is. We want to wake up in the house and eat breakfast in the house, right?
And eat our Broadway, eat the African buffet.
Are they gonna run away? But thank you.
I do have a question for you.
Okay.
So as a young entrepreneur myself, I'm thinking about all these other young women that are watching this right now and who are aspiring to be entrepreneurs themselves. And because I have you here, I want to ask you, you've talked about leadership, you've talked about sisterhood. I want to know, is there anything else that aspiring entrepreneurs, especially as young Black African entrepreneurs, should know about that journey and what kind of challenges may come with that? Especially, you're a globetrotter. You moved to another continent.
Yeah. A couple of things for a woman, especially those who look more like me.
Yeah.
It's many challenges. Also have own a business. I'm a business owner, right?
Yeah.
And it's in logistics. I hardly work with women. Everybody I work with, it's just a male-dominated industry. So the challenges you'll always face is that sometimes there may not be any role model that is the immediate role models, like those that are close to you that can hold your hand in the business. You have to figure out how to do these things on your own.
Yeah.
But I think what is encouraging is, seeing women like this, okay? Seeing women who have done it before, in whatever the area of interest may be. So, but they have done it. They have managed. They became successful. So then we can follow that lead and say that, okay, there are many challenges. In the corporate, I was in corporate America for over 14 years until I retired to start my own business. And and also I was still in a male-dominated area, field. So it's very, challenging, in the boardroom. You want your words, your voice to be heard, right? Like other people will be listened to. And I worked for the company. Actually, I will say that on the table, you found that there will be like 12, 13 white men and me on the table.
Wow.
And coming from South Africa.
Yeah.
So these are the things that you say, okay, you went through all of that. Now, you want to get paid what they're getting paid, right? So I had to figure out ways, and I will say that while it's not a common practice, honestly, I was able to figure out how to get to that level. When I'm sitting on the table with you, I know that I'm on the same pay scale with you for the same job. But I know that it's a continuous battle to fight that. So for me, coming from, on the other side of the world and being here and being able to make it in the corporate America, it wasn't an easy thing. So, but as we more of us, and as we look up to others, we want the people like this little girl here called Zani to know that, if they have made it, irrespective of all the challenges, we can also make it. So that's the gist of the whole thing, really.
Thank you. I want to thank you so much for coming out here and sitting with us and sharing all your wonderful wisdom, telling us about South Africans Women Alliance and all of that. And I hope that people will have taken away a lot of valuable information and they remember these upcoming events that are coming this Friday, this Saturday, and looking forward to next March.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for having us.
Awesome. That's it.
All right, thank